It's been a while. Hello. Hi. How are you all doing? Wow. It's kind of crazy to think about that we're coming into 2020. It's it feels like 2010 was so far away, yet it's not. I don't know. Time flies. It's crazy to think about. And I think everyone has been talking about the last decade that's happened. But I've honestly felt that most of the change that's happened to me throughout all this time is honestly through video games. I feel like a lot of change has happened to me with video games with this decade, and I wanted to talk about that. I haven't been on my YouTube channel in a while, and I just wanted to reminisce all about that. Because I mean, when I first started the channel, it was all about Minecraft. I mean, Minecraft is not necessarily part of the past decade, which is a bummer, but it kind of all started all this, you know. But I kind of want to just step back, and I want to talk about one game that was part of the decade before, and that was Pokemon. I've loved Pokemon ever since I can remember. Pokemon is so dear to me and close, and I feel like during part of my life you have a period of like the Pokemon ages, and it wasn't just because I loved Pokemon that I played it. It was so close to me. I have a lot of personal experience with it, and it means a lot to me. But I think looking back, before, I did not like video games at all. I didn't care for them. I thought they were really dumb, and I thought that only all games were shooters. I think these past couple of years I found that was wrong, and I've come to love video games. They're amazing. But going back and looking back 10 years ago, it looks back at one of my favorite games, and that is Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. We'll start there. The age of Pokemon. Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out in, well, I got my notes here, March 14th, 2010. I remember asking my grandpa to buy me that game. I wanted that game so bad. I can remember watching different trailers and being so excited for it. And I think the only game I had before that was Diamond. I was actually given that by my cousin, so thank you for that. But I was so excited for it. It had a little thing where you walked around and you could get different steps, and you can carry your Pokemon with you. And I thought that was so awesome. And I eventually got that game, and I love that game. I still have it today. Wait, just one sec. Oh, okay. Right here. You can barely see it. But yeah, this is my game. I love this game. This game is amazing. I played so many hours into it. I think I even got one of the action replays to have cheats on my game, and I only did that after I finished it. But there was so many little things that I loved doing in that game. Catching all the Pokemon. One of the great things that I loved, I mean, I was stupid, so it took me a couple of years to actually figure out that Pokemon has a story to it. But one of the things that I absolutely loved is that when I actually figured out how to do the story, was that the story continues after the game. And I didn't know this about Pokemon games before, but it continues after the game, and you get to go to Kanto, which it was awesome. It was a complete second game to me. I spent so many hours on it. I've been thinking so much about redoing the game and playing it again, but I don't want to, because it's so dear to me, and there's so many memories, and I go back to it and just to see how many Pokemon I caught before, and it's so great. It means so much to me. But yet again, I used to only think Pokemon was it. That was it. Only Pokemon games, because everything else was dumb and boring. 3 years later, Pokemon X and Y came out on October. I thought we're gonna skip Black and White. I hate Black and White. I never liked that generation. I never got it. The only time I've played it is recently because my sister bought it at like GameStop for $10. But X and Y came out. I think X and Y is the only Pokemon game that I still do not have. I lost it at a friend's house, which I hate because I had all the legendary Pokemon, all the everything. But X and Y was great because it revolutionized Pokemon games to a 3D aspect on my 3DS. And it was so fun. I hate that I didn't have it. I had like shiny Pokemon and everything in that game, and I don't anymore. But it was super fun. I remember I think I was in the bathroom on my phone on YouTube, and I saw that they came out with a trailer for the next Pokemon game, and I was super happy that it was 3D. I thought 2D was great, but they always had these animations that looked 3D. Why didn't they just make it 3D? So it was a dream come true when that came out. Continuing with the Pokemon age, I think the next year, November 21st, 2014, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire came out. That was really fun because as a kid I always wondered, well, why didn't legendary Pokemon evolve? And they basically Mega evolved in this, and it was super cool. I played that to the core, got all the legendaries again, and I had a blast with it. But yet again, throughout all that time, I was stuck in this loop, and that loop was that the only good games were Pokemon, and I think I had a Wii, and I had 2 games. It was Wii Sports and Wii Premium Sports. I forget the exact name. I'll show a picture. And that was it. I thought that was the only video games. So it was distant when all my friends loved all these video games. I couldn't relate. I didn't have that many video games. Going fast forwarding 2 years later in 2016, Overwatch came out, and this is when we start going into the area of FPSs. I don't really, I like FPSs, they're cool. I don't play a lot of them. Overwatch was fun. I thought it was just cartoony, and it was a fun game while it lasted. I played that thing hardcore for at least 2 years. You know, I rephrase that, just 1 year. I remember watching Seagull on his Twitch account, learning how to do Genji, McCree. I had a lot of fun with my friends. I think I even built a PC that I still use today, just because I couldn't play it on my laptop. It was a lot of fun, but again, it left me with the ideas that there's only games that are shooters, and that's it. I didn't like that. Here we come to the age of realization that have made my love for video games ignite. And it all starts with a special game, I'm looking at my notes again, came out in March 3rd, 2017. That is when I came to love video games. And it's so special because that game was Breath of the Wild. I love Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is my favorite video game ever because it's the one that made me love video games so much. I remember watching trailers for the Switch, and I was thinking that was awesome. The only reason why I bought a Switch was because I was expecting Pokemon to come on it, because I was playing Pokemon games. But I also saw trailers for Breath of the Wild, and when I saw those, I was like, wow, this looks beautiful. It looks amazing. Maybe I'll buy it. And I think just researching more about the Zelda games and the story of them and everything, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy this game. This game sounds amazing. The whole Zelda series sounds amazing. When I bought that game, it was a breath of fresh air. I don't mean that as a pun, but literally, it was so much fun. Doing whatever I wanted, traveling. And I think it was crazy for everyone because that's not usually a Zelda game. Zelda games are usually, now that I've played Zelda games, they're puzzles, dungeons, and you follow a story. This was all open world. You could do whatever. If you wanted to go to the boss, go do it. If you were weak and you wanted to go battle a dude, go do it. No one cares. No one was telling you you couldn't. You could. It was great. And I think one thing I fell in love with was the story, the characters. There's so many of them that I love. One of the most hyped games I'm looking forward to is Breath of the Wild 2 because I want to see what happened to those characters. Zelda had an amazing personality. Link, who was someone quiet, who you played as, had depth as a character. You felt emotionally attached to these characters, and it was great. The music was beautiful. I talked to people who are 20 years older than me who have played Zelda games, and all of them have said how deeply they have felt towards Zelda. And it's so great, because I feel like when I played that game, I had a connection with Zelda, and it made me want to see, okay, if this game can make me feel all these emotions, all these feelings, this interested in the game, like, I think it's one of my most played games ever on my Switch, could other video games do that to me? And that's when I started doing this search about old video games of the past. So this whole decade has not only inspired me to look forward to video games, but also look back and seeing what's so good about them. October 27th, 2017 was when Mario Odyssey came out. I love Mario. I mean, who doesn't? Who plays Nintendo stuff? My DS had always Mario games on it. But Mario Odyssey was so different, because I've never played a 3D Mario game. I mean, I've played 3D World on my 3DS, but that's not the same as Mario Odyssey. Again, you have that... it's not as much freedom as Breath of the Wild. I mean, I don't think anything has. There's so many open world games now today that are inspired by it. You can't really compare it. But it's so different than a regular 2D Mario game. You know, it felt more open, more versatile, you wanted to venture out. And I was like, wow. Again, I fell in love with it. One of the most played games on my Switch. And I was, okay, what's more? Then I discovered Mario 64. Mario 64 there's so much stuff inspired in Mario Odyssey by Mario 64. And it was great. During that whole time, that's when I stepped into the world gaming and awakened and looked back on so many different games. And it's been great. And I really love that. I recently, actually just today I finished playing Portal 1. I downloaded Portal 2 and I need to play that. Portal 1 is one of the best games ever. Great story, great mystery, great puzzles. It's absolutely fantastic. And what else? Battlefront 2? I played Battlefront 2, the original one, not the new one, on my PC. Wonderful game. Amazing game. I wish I played it when it came out. What else? What other old games have I played? I don't know. There's so many good ones. I think the newest ones I played, Cuphead, Hollow Knight. I forget what else. There's so many that I've just absolutely loved and have touched my heart throughout this entire time. Oh, one older game. Ocarina of Time. I've always heard that Ocarina of Time was one of the best Zelda games ever, and in people's minds, the best Zelda game. I didn't really believe them because I played Breath of the Wild first. I played Ocarina of Time not only on my 3DS but also on my PC on an emulator, and it is amazing. It doesn't lie. And I wish I was in that that time period where I could play it when it was brand new, because it's amazing. I have the soundtrack. The soundtrack is wonderful. It's beautiful. It stirs up so many emotions, especially hearing Zelda's lullaby and just even the opening theme of the game. I have that whole soundtrack on my phone. I listen to it over and over again, and it's so great. I think just 2017 was amazing. All about that time, it was like I was hidden in darkness from the video gaming world, and now I feel a part of it. I'm not crazy a part of it now, but I'm enjoying it. Especially with story games. I love them. Some of them are bad. I've learned throughout this whole experience, don't like EA. Most of their stuff is really bad. And I've just been having a wonderful time. So looking past on this decade, all my stuff just turned off. That's great. I wish my computer would stop doing that. But looking back on this past decade, it's been fun. It has been really fun, and I'm enjoying to continue seeing what's new. So yeah, that's it.